Imagine waking up tomorrow morning. And the world feels completely different. The sun hangs in one place in the sky, casting a permanent glare. The birds are silent, the wind is unnaturally still. You take a step outside and something is wrong, terribly wrong. Suddenly, it hits you, the earth has stopped spinning. Sounds impossible, right? But today, we're going to explore every terrifying consequence of a planet frozen in place, from unstoppable winds to mega-tsunamis, from eternal day to unthinkable cold. Nothing will remain the same. Could humanity survive? Or would life as we know it end completely? Let's dive in. The unseen speed beneath your feet. Even if you feel completely still, you are moving incredibly fast. The Earth spins at roughly 1,670 kilometers per hour at the equator. That's faster than a jet plane, faster than a Formula One car, faster than anything you can imagine. Everything around you is moving together. Houses, trees, oceans, mountains. That's why we don't notice it. But imagine if Earth suddenly stopped spinning. Buildings and people not anchored to the ground would continue moving at this speed. Cars would be hurled hundreds of meters. Trees would snap like twigs. You could literally be thrown across the landscape. Visualize stepping outside for a simple morning walk, only to be slammed sideways by an invisible force. This isn't just a gust of wind, it's the entire planet's momentum crashing into everything. And it doesn't stop there. Even the atmosphere, which has been spinning with the Earth for billions of years, would keep moving, creating the first wave of catastrophic destruction. Wind stronger than any hurricane. If Earth stopped spinning, the air wouldn't stop immediately. The atmosphere would continue at up to 1,500 kilometers per hour, unleashing winds far stronger than any hurricane recorded in human history. Imagine entire cities flattened within minutes. Skyscrapers torn apart like paper. Trees uprooted and tossed like toys. Bridges, towers, and dams destroyed in seconds. Even massive mountains might suffer landslides from the sudden redistribution of air pressure. Scientists estimate that these winds would release energy equivalent to millions of nuclear explosions simultaneously, reshaping landscapes in ways we can barely imagine. And if that wasn't enough, the oceans, moving with the Earth's rotation, would become unstoppable tsunamis, crashing across continents in minutes. Mega-tsunamis and flooded cities. All the water in the oceans is currently moving along with the Earth's rotation. If the planet stops suddenly, that water keeps moving. Coastal cities like New York, Tokyo, or Istanbul could be submerged within hours. Tsunamis could reach hundreds of meters high, sweeping away everything in their path. Rivers would overflow, valleys would flood, and landscapes would be completely reshaped. Even inland areas could see catastrophic flooding. Entire ecosystems, farms, and cities would vanish in a matter of hours. Imagine skyscrapers being toppled, forests washed away, wildlife struggling to survive in a suddenly underwater world. This is only the beginning. While water and wind wreak havoc, the sun and temperature extremes will soon make life even more impossible. A new day and night cycle. Earth's 24-hour rotation gives us the day-night rhythm we rely on. Without it, days and nights would change dramatically. One side of the planet would face the sun continuously for 6 months, while the other side would be trapped in eternal darkness. Life as we know it would be completely disrupted. Plants wouldn't be able to photosynthesize on the dark side, while humans and animals would struggle with constant sunlight. Imagine living in a world where the sun never rises in the morning, or the sun never sets, glaring relentlessly overhead. Temperatures would reach unimaginable extremes, food production would become nearly impossible in many regions, and humans would have to rethink their daily routines. Even the simplest things, like telling time or sleeping, would become life-or-death decisions. Visualize cities on the sun-facing side, rooftops melting under continuous heat, roads warping, rivers evaporating. Meanwhile, on the dark side, entire lakes and rivers would freeze solid. Humans and wildlife would be forced into shelters, caves, or underground structures just to survive. Extreme heat and cold. Now, let's look at the temperature extremes. On the sun-facing side, temperatures could exceed 100 degrees Celsius, turning oceans into steam and deserts into scorching wastelands. Plants and animals that cannot tolerate heat would perish almost instantly. Fires would break out spontaneously as heat and dry vegetation combine. Meanwhile, on the dark side, temperatures could drop below -100 degrees Celsius, freezing landscapes and creating ice wastelands. Even hardy animals might not survive, and humans would face frostbite, hypothermia, and starvation. The combination of these extremes would make only a narrow band between the hot and cold sides potentially habitable. Humans would have to adapt dramatically, constructing underground cities to avoid heat or cold, using protective domes to control temperature and weather, engineering crops and livestock capable of surviving extreme conditions. Even in this twilight zone, survival would be a constant struggle. Simple luxuries, like sunlight, fresh water, or a stable climate, would be gone. Every day would become a fight against nature's fury. The survivable twilight zone. Scientists call this narrow band the twilight zone, located between the blazing sun and frozen darkness. Life could exist here, but resources would be extremely limited. Agriculture would be possible only with advanced technology, like hydroponics, greenhouses, and artificial lighting. Humans would need to drastically reduce energy use and adapt diets to what could grow in harsh conditions. Visualize life in the twilight zone. Cities built under protective domes. Transportation between settlements limited by extreme conditions. A new society shaped by survival priorities rather than convenience or luxury. Even the twilight zone would be vulnerable to sudden disasters. Mega-tsunamis could still reach these areas. Violent winds might occasionally blow in from the hot or cold sides. Water scarcity would force careful management of every drop. Life here would not resemble the world we know today. Survival would depend on ingenuity, community cooperation, and constant adaptation. The long-term future of a stopped Earth. Over centuries, the planet would slowly try to adjust to its new, frozen state, without rotation. Oceans would gradually redistribute, moving toward the poles due to gravity, creating massive new polar ice caps and possibly uncovering parts of today's ocean floors. The Earth's shape might slightly deform. The equatorial bulge that exists because of rotation would flatten, causing coastlines to shift dramatically. New landscapes could appear, deserts turning into plains, frozen wastelands forming mountains, and rivers carving entirely new paths. For humanity, this would mean entire civilizations forced to relocate to the twilight zone. A complete redesign of infrastructure to survive extreme conditions. New forms of transportation, energy generation, and agriculture, all adapted to life in permanent heat, cold, or near extremes. Only species able to survive extreme temperatures, lack of sunlight, and scarcity of food and water would persist. Many animals, plants, and ecosystems we know today would vanish, replaced by organisms adapted to a harsh, twilight world. Visualize the long-term Earth. Cities enclosed in massive climate-controlled domes. Humans farming vertically in enormous skyscraper greenhouses. Oceans and rivers forming new coastlines, reshaping continents like a slow-motion apocalypse. Even though life might continue, it would never resemble the world we know. Humanity would survive, but in a constant struggle against nature. Why this will, probably, never happen. Fortunately, a sudden stop of the Earth's rotation is virtually impossible. The forces needed to halt our planet are beyond comprehension, far greater than any human technology or natural disaster. But imagining this scenario helps us appreciate something important. Life on Earth is fragile. Our planet is shaped by forces beyond our control. Understanding these forces makes us respect the balance that allows us to exist. By thinking about the unimaginable, we gain perspective on what it really means to live on a spinning, dynamic planet. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe to support more deep dives into what-if scenarios. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a mind-blowing video. Comment below, which what-if scenario should we explore next? Would you like us to imagine other planets, sudden disasters, or time travel scenarios? Let us know, your ideas could be our next video.